So we have the one and only Don Was Not Was.
Oh.
There are so many aspiring talent out there on Explore Talent, and they want to know your words of advice. What do you want to tell them?
Well, you know, the music business changed a lot in the last few years. Used to be that everyone was selling CDs and records, and tours kind of supported the sales of CDs and records. But now, live is where it's at.
No.
So my advice to anybody is play a lot. Get out and play any kind of gigs you can play. Play as often as you can. Practice. Get used to playing in front of people. Get used to entertaining people. And as long as there's a room with walls and a door where people have to pay to get in the door, and you're playing inside, that you can't digitize the experience of playing live music.
Do you remember that moment where you felt like, this is my break? I have to capitalize on this.
Well, there are a couple of turning points. Yeah, my life changed after I won my first Grammy for Album of the Year with Bonnie Raitt, Nick of Time, which is now going on 20 years ago. And then that record, and right the month after that, I produced a song "Love Shack" for the B-52s.
Love Shack, baby, love.
Oh,
Shack.
where were you 20 years ago? We could have used you.
I would have went up.
So yeah, so that changed things considerably.
Wonderful.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, it's great to see you still going so
pleasure.
strong. You know, it's quite a feat to be able to be persistent, you know, and to continue on.
Well, it's either a feat or stupidity. I don't know how to do anything else. I know how to
Wonderful.
play music and eat.
Well, if you wouldn't mind giving a little shout out to Explore Talent, they're one of the
Yeah.
big sponsors for Music Cares. So just
Okay.
a little love.
This is Don Was, and I want to express my support for Explore Talent, which is a great organization, and practice.
Practice from Don Was. Hey everybody, we're at the 2009 Music Cares Celebrity Gala, and we have the wonderful Cassandra Wilson here. Now, tell us, you got started born in Jackson, Mississippi. What advice do you have out there for our aspiring and up-and-coming talent?
Well, I always like to say to young people, be true to your dreams. You know, be true to what you hear and stay with it, stick with it. It's really important to be an individual. Don't try to copy anybody else. Of course, if you have people that you like, listen to them, and you go through that phase, but find your own voice. That's my advice.
Do you remember when you really got your start and you thought, I can make a living off of my passion?
I remember it well because I was in college and my parents had just cut me off my allowance. So I had to figure out something really fast. And I started working at this coffee shop in Jackson called Poets. And I was playing guitar once a week while I was in school, and I made $25. And then that was a lot of money. You know,
That is.
I said, oh, there might be something to this.
You've done pretty well since college. We have to be honest. Listen out there, everybody, to Cassandra Wilson. Thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind giving a little shout out, Explore Talent's one of the big sponsors of Music Cares, so just a little love and a little hello for Explore Talent.
Hello, I want to give a shout out to Explore Talent. You're fabulous.
Oh, we love that. Thank you, Cassandra Wilson.
Thank you.
Thank you. Talking to Cassandra, she was telling us a little bit about how she'd gotten started and advice, because we're the world's largest talent resource for up-and-coming musicians. So if we could grab you for just a quick second, see what advice you have for everyone else who wants to learn how to play, you know, trumpet and that kind of thing. Hey everybody, I am here with Terrence Blanchard. I mean, this guy knows how to play a trumpet. I mean, jazz is a whole new world, partly because of you. What advice do you have for aspiring and upcoming talent?
Well, you know, the main thing you have to realize is that you got to follow your heart. All too often when we start to learn how to play, we kind of listen to our heroes, and we kind of think that that's the path we should take. But we have to understand that that's their path. And sometimes they're burning little things inside of us that we try to ignore. Well, those are the things you have to pay attention to, because that's really that's where your personality lies. Yeah, there's a constant struggle I always talk about with my students between who you want to be and who you really are. You know, and you have to kind of really just pay attention to that little voice in the back of your head. It won't steer you wrong.
What do you do when someone's out there and they're trying so hard and they're just really frustrated?
Well, first thing you have to do is just kind of take a break, step back a minute, and kind of regroup. Because when you get that frustrated, it means it's generally because you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're obsessed with something that's not as important in a big scheme of things. You know, sometimes we're bogged down on trying to learn a song a specific way, and generally what that means is, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. I've learned songs the way that I've heard them on recordings. And when I would play them, they just wouldn't feel right. Well, that was because it wasn't coming from my heart. It wasn't my interpretation of what I felt about what the song was trying to say. So when you have those types of frustrations, just take a break, just sit back and relax, and then come back to it with a certain freshness and really listen to that little voice inside your heart.
What a great philosophy. It's clear that that's helped you have such longevity in this business.
No, thank you. I don't know if it's that. I hope.
It's wonderful. Well, if you wouldn't mind giving a little shout out to Explore Talent, they're one of the big sponsors here for Music Cares. So if you can just give them a little bit of love.
Sure. What's happening, Explore Talent? Thank you for all the things that you're doing for the young, talented people. It's really great.
It's awesome. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure.